Meeting to order. Please start with the roll call.
Council President Corman. I can see him.
He's here. He must be frozen.
I think he's frozen. All right, Councilmember Perez.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Here.
Councilmember Benedetti.
Here.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Here.
Councilmember McIrvin.
Here.
And Councilmember Prince.
Here.
Okay, I see.
I'm here. I'm here, Mr. Mayor. Sorry.
Go ahead. That's roll
Yeah,
call.
we figured you were frozen, so we included you.
Thanks.
Okay, tonight's meeting we're going to start off with a public hearing. It's the mid-buy budget hearing, and with us tonight is Carrie Roller.
All right, good evening. So the city is required to hold public hearings prior to the adoption of the mid-biennium budget and the setting of the property tax rate for the upcoming year. So the first public hearing was held on October 18th, and so tonight represents the second and final public hearing. All of our public hearings have been appropriately noticed and provide the opportunity for stakeholders to provide their input. And all of the details of the proposed mid-biennium update have been discussed with council and are posted on the city's website. And with that, I will turn it back over to you.
Okay. Do we have any correspondence? Yes. Do we have any correspondence? Sorry.
Mr. Mayor, I received no correspondence or anyone wishing to speak at tonight's hearing.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember O'Halloran.
Yeah, I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember Prince, that we close the public hearing. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. All right, next up we have administrative report.
Good evening, everyone. With our first significant storm behind us, it's good time to view our emergency management website found at www.rentonwa.gov. There you will find resources to prepare for and navigate emergencies such as an extended power outage or severe weather. For example, you can sign up for Alert Renton to get emergency notifications via phone, text, or email, as well as download the Renton Responds app to report non-emergency but storm-related issues such as downed trees and blocked drains. For our part, the city's operations crews have prepared, tested, and are ready for higher than average precipitation and colder than average temperatures, including snow. Visit our website for information and get yourself prepared. Information about preventative street maintenance, traffic impacts, and road closures happening this week can be found at www.rentonwa.gov/traffic. All projects are weather permitting, and unless otherwise noted, streets will always remain open. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we'll open up the remote audience comment period. It remains the strong intent of the city to have public comment regularly included on our agendas. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to speak. You'll be called upon by a city staff member. The staff member will call the speaker's name and unmute the appropriate microphone, which will send an automatic prompt to the speaker of, "You've been unmuted." This is the speaker's cue that it's their turn to speak. Please begin your comments by stating your name, city of residence, and the topic you are addressing. Speakers should be able to see a timer on the screen. Please finish your comments when you see the time is close to expiring. And we have 3 people signed up today for comment.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the first person we have signed up is Tim Hayner. Tim, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right, thank you. My name is Tim Hayner. I'm a resident of Bonnie Lake, Pierce County. I'm the general manager of Cascade Civil Construction. We are the contractor performing the street reconstruction in the old downtown corridor, the Williams and Wells conversion project. We are speaking to the council today to ensure that you are informed of the magnitude and status of the outstanding change orders on the project. Work on the project began in May of 2020. The original contract value was $7,733,000. Currently, the contract value is $9,190,000, with 23 different change orders having been issued to date, for increases of $1,457,000, about a 19% increase. There have been 110 individual field directives issued by the city to date. There's been about 180 requests for information by the contractor requiring clarification from the city submitted to date. We, the contractor, are tracking an additional 33 proposed change orders, which we tally to be about $1.2 million, another increase of about 15% to the original contract. Right now, we're projecting that the final contract value will be over $10 million. Virtually all the extra work directed by the city has been to proceed under force account or time and material with a change order for payment to follow. Under the contract and state law, the contract work, the original work, and change order additional work, whether force account or otherwise, should be paid within 30 days. And we've got many of these outstanding issues are 60 to 90 days old, and some are older than that without a change order for payment. We understand there are authorization challenges and processes. However, there's never been any dispute about entitlement for these extra work items. The work has proceeded, and we are nearly done with the project. We have performed the work as directed, brought in additional resources of personnel and equipment as necessary to accommodate and complete the work. From our perspective, there seems to be a manpower issue with the project team, the administrative team on the city's side, the construction management team, to create and process these change documents timely. There have been 7 change orders issued on this past Friday specifically. And while this is a pretty good start, there is still a lot to resolve. Until this past Friday, we had not received a new change order for nearly 2 months. So we will continue to work with the construction project team to resolve the remaining issues. However, we are very concerned that if the pace of resolution and issuance of the new change orders and payments are not increased, we'll be waiting for several months after the work is complete to resolve these issues, and that's just not acceptable. We need to get some help here to try to make sure this process is moving more promptly. Thank you.
The next person we have is Carl Nelson. Carl, go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to speak tonight. My name is Carl Nelson. I'm from Beaverton, Oregon, and I am work for Kerr Contractors. It's an affiliated company of Cascade Civil, who Tim Hayner works with. And we provide support services, and then there's common ownership between our organization and Cascade Civil. The last time we spoke to you was on September 13th, which was about 6 weeks ago. And the order of magnitude of the changes that Tim talked about at that time, the balance that we're still wrestling with in spite of the 7 change orders that Tim referenced has not gone down. Matter of fact, we believe it's gone up just a little bit from where it was then. Now, we're currently on a pace that we're going to be 8 to 10 months at a minimum after we finish work, in a couple months before we resolve all of these outstanding change orders. We have, in various conversations with folks at the city and with the construction manager, there's been a question about is the project fully funded? And where the funding is going to come for the project. And so we're concerned about that, if that is an issue. We understand that there are several of these change orders that are over $100,000 threshold, I believe, that will have to come to council. And we're concerned about that, and we'd like to get some answers on where the funding is coming from and what can be done to speed this up. If we don't have resolution on the change orders by the end of us finishing our work, we're left with few contractual remedies, of which I don't think either us or the city would want to go through, and that includes going to litigation. It's something that we do not desire to do. We've had a great relationship working with the Petite folks or with the city folks on the project. It's had many challenges this past summer, as many of you know, and working closely with the downtown businesses. But due to the nature of this project being a downtown urban redo of the streetscape and the underlying utilities and sidewalks, curb and gutter, very challenging in the fact that many of the conflicts that were discovered were undocumented, and some of them going back, decades, and that created a lot of challenges. We have been there all throughout all of this and have done our part, we believe, on getting the issues resolved as timely as possible and getting the work done, albeit that the general public and the business owners in the area may not be aware of that because they just see that their project's not finished and it's an inconvenience to their clientele and to their businesses. We trust us. We want to be done with the project as soon as you want us to be done. And we were really appealing we need some support. We'd like to know where the budget's coming from and what can be done so that we don't have to go for the only path it appears that we're headed down here in a couple of months if we don't get these things done by the time we finish the project. The fact that this project started at 7.7 is now projecting to finish at over $10 million. That's a significant increase in the value of the contract and also a significant increase in the amount of time that's on the project. And again, we do appeal for you to do what's necessary. The coincidence of all those 7 change orders happened in the last week, and that was coincidental with us signing up to speak in front of the council again. So we'd kindly suggest or like to suggest that we have weekly council meetings until we can get through with all the change orders here in the near future. I thank you for the time for us to come to or before you this evening, and again, appeal for whatever help you can provide to our team and to the city's team and Petite's team so that we can get this and these issues resolved in a very quickly manner. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Council President.
Yeah, I would, I appreciate the speaker, both of them tonight that have spoken on this. I would just like to assure them that if they're working on change orders that the city's representative has coordinated with them, this council will pay the bills. In 28 years, I've never seen us fail to pay bills, and we have a AAA credit rating. And I know it's been a complicated project. So much of it is subterranean. There were no maps or drawings that showed us where all the obstructions were. I appreciate the contractors hanging in there with us. And this has been a difficult time for workers in all lines of work, as well as people trying to coordinate these change orders. But anyways, I just wanted to assure them that we pay our bills and to not worry about that. And I understand that the time is of the essence as well, but I just wanted to give that assurance as council president.
Thank you. And just to update the council, I know that we've paid out 1.2 million out of the 2.2 million in change orders that have been requested. So I do see that both Jim Seitz and Ron Stalker are going to be updating us this week on where we're at with all of this. So we will be sure and loop the council in on all of this information. So we indeed pay our bills. Okay, I believe we have one more person signed up.
Yes, the last person we have is Jennifer Watts. Jennifer, go ahead.
Thank you. My name's Jennifer Watts. I live in the North Renton neighborhood of Renton, Washington. And this might not be the correct venue for my request, but I live on a 1 block long strip of road that is North 2nd Street. And I've asked several times at different committee meetings for the city of Renton that we could do something about speeding vehicles. Right before the pandemic shutdown, I talked to someone about having a monitor, one of those big monitoring flashing light trailers moved onto the street that would flash the speed that people are going in an attempt to get people to slow down. I've also asked for speed bumps, and neighbors have just, we all met again as the traffic has grown on the street, and we had a near miss that perhaps the road could be made one way as other local access roads are here in the North Renton neighborhood. So my question tonight is not for resolution, but who do I speak to and where do I go to attempt to get some sort of resolution on the speed problem on our road before we have, a tragedy? Oh, and by the way, I'm 1 block from a grade school, and on a very well walked road, sidewalks on both sides, and where people go and take their children down in the park. So that was my question. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you for reaching out. We do have a number of different options for traffic calming, and we have your information. We will make sure that a staff member will reach out to you and your neighbors here soon. Okay.
And that is all I have, Mr. Mayor.
That is it. Okay, thank you. Next up, we have the consent agenda. We have 9 items for council consideration. Are there any items that council would like pulled for separate consideration?
Seeing none, I move approval of the consent agenda as published.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman and seconded by Councilmember McGurven that the council approve the consent agenda. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Next up, we have unfinished business. Council President Corman.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a committee of the whole report to present.
Okay. The first of the 2 committee of the whole reports is regarding the 2021-2022 Mid-Biennium Budget Amendment. The Committee of the Whole reviewed the proposed 2021-2022 Mid-Biennium Budget Amendment to increase revenues by $39,469,098 for an amended total revenue of $595,918,061 over the biennium, and increase expenditures by $23,744,620 for an amended total expenditures of $698,234,935 over the biennium, and recommends concurrence in the following actions. 1, property tax levy. Set the 2022 property tax levy plus the new construction, annexation, and administrative refunds at $23,300,071 based on the preliminary worksheet provided by King County's Assessor's Office. 2, changes to authorized positions. The budget amendment will add a total of 5.60 positions and make pay classification adjustments for another 4 positions. The new FTEs, which are full-time equivalent positions, and pay classification adjustments have been previously approved by the City Council. These changes and the .75 position added during the first quarter of 2021 will increase the overall city positions by 6.35 full-time equivalents. Details of the 5.60 positions and 4 pay classification adjustments outlined below. A, executive, all previously approved. Add 1 deputy chief administrator, grade M49. Convert the deputy public affairs administrator, M45, to director of communications and engagement, M38. Convert the administrative secretary, N09, to administrative assistant to executive services, N16. B, equity, housing, and human services, all previously approved. Add 1 EHHS administrator, grade M49. Add 1 administrative assistant to EHHS, grade N16. Add 1 community outreach and events coordinator, M22. Finance, all previously approved. Add 1 grants program manager, grade M27. Convert a finance analyst 3, N16 to a senior finance analyst, M25. Community and economic development, previously approved. Convert a senior planner, grade A28 to associate planner, grade A21. Police, previously approved. Convert a public record specialist from 0.4 to 1.0 FTE, which is police position PN62. And 3, rates and fee adjustments. Adjust various fees as identified read in the proposed 2021-2022 fee schedule. The Committee of the Whole recommends Council approve the proposed 2021-2022 mid-biennium budget adjustment and place the associated legislation reflecting the above changes for first reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President Corman.
I move the council approve the Committee of the Whole report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman, seconded by Councilman McGurven, that the council approve the Committee of the Whole report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries.
Okay, the next Committee of the Whole report is regarding the establishment of the Rent and Equity Commission. The Committee of the Whole recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to establish the Rent and Equity Commission. The Committee of the Whole further recommends that the related ordinance be presented for first reading and advanced to second and final reading at tonight's meeting.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President Corman.
I move the council approve this Committee of the Whole report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the council approve this Committee of the Whole report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
as one final detail, I don't know if I need to do this, but I would just like to formally move that we adjust the agenda to reflect that item 8D will be a first and second reading of this ordinance, consistent with that report. So I would make that as a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that, what was the item again?
That we're going to adjust the agenda to reflect that item 8D is first and second reading.
That item 8D will be for first and second reading. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Council Member Perez.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Council Member Van.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Council Member Benedetti.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Utilities Committee has a commission report, or committee report.
Okay, the Utilities Committee report, this is regarding an agreement with Parametrics for stormwater management action planning. The Utilities Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the agreement with Parametrics in the amount of $240,896.12 for assessing and prioritizing receiving waters and developing a stormwater management action plan for the Stormwater Management Action Planning Project.
Yes, I would like to move that the council concur with the committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Benedetti, seconded by Councilmember Halloran, that the council concur with the Utility Committee report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Councilmember Halloran.
I have no unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember McGurven.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
And Councilmember Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we're on to legislation. We have one resolution, 3 ordinances for first reading and 1 for second and final reading. First and second reading, excuse me.
Got it. The resolution is regarding setting a public hearing for an upcoming street vacation petition. Resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, setting a public hearing date regarding vacation of a portion of Chelan Avenue Northeast at approximately the 1100th block of Chelan Avenue Northeast, north of Northeast 10th Street. Chelan Avenue Northeast street vacation, file number VAC 21001, and that is for November 22nd.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember McGurven.
I move that the resolution be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember McGurven, second by Councilmember Corman, that the resolution be adopted as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President Corman.
if I could just have the floor for a second. I just wanted
Yes.
to advise the council that the first three ordinances need to be placed on second and final reading at the November 15th council meeting.
That's based on the budget calendar that was that council adopted a couple months back.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so the first ordinance is regarding the 2021-2022 Mid-Biennium budget adjustment. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending the City of Renton fiscal years 2021-2022 biennial budget as adopted by ordinance number 5991 and amended by ordinance number 6017 and 6021 by increasing the budgeted revenues and expenditures by $39,469,098 and $23,744,620 respectively, amending the 2021 salary table and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President Corman.
I move this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the November 15th council meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the November 15th meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, the next ordinance is establishing the 2022 property tax levy. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, establishing the property tax levy for the year 2022 for general city operational purposes in the amount of $23,300,071, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Council President Corman.
I move this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the November 15th council meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Council President Corman, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the November 15th meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries.
Okay, the final ordinance for first reading only is to authorize the property tax increase for 2022. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, authorizing the dollar amount and percentage increase for the property tax to be levied for the year 2022, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President Corman.
I move this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the November 15th council meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Council President Corman, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the November 15th meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, the final ordinance is for first reading and then advance to second and final reading. It's regarding the Renton Equity Commission. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, repealing and replacing Chapter 2-7 of the Renton Municipal Code, establishing the Renton Equity Commission, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President Corman.
I move this ordinance be placed on second and final reading tonight.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at tonight's meeting. All in favor?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mayor, before we vote, can I, it's a great ordinance. I know we're all excited about it. I did get, since our committee of the whole meeting, I believe I got a message from the city attorney, and I just wanted to make sure that any legal issues surrounding the fact that we advanced it to second and final are just dealt with so that we get this right. Is the city attorney available to
Yes.
explain whether?
Yep, he just joined us here.
Yeah, so the ordinance doesn't technically take effect for 30 days after publication of its adoption, is how it's worded. But that would still get you, if the desire is to potentially, so long as recruitment goes well, appoint by the one of the December meetings, that could still be feasible with the 30-day effective date. I think that there's no problem with advertising based upon adoption, that we will be filling it. I do recommend that the appointments take effect January 1st, 2022, because the way that we have the ordinance, because we staggered them as one-year terms. We define the terms as starting January 1st in the in the year of appointment. So we'll make the appointment in 2022. So those one-year terms actually have a full year to serve.
Thank you very much for that clarification, Shane. Okay, so there's motion on the floor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman, second by Councilman McGurven, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at tonight's meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries.
Okay, I'll read it again. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, repealing and replacing Chapter 2-7 of the Renton Municipal Code, establishing the Renton Equity Commission, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President Corman.
I move adoption of the ordinance as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman, second by Councilmember McGurven, that this ordinance be adopted as read. It requires a roll call.
Okay, Council President Corman.
Aye.
Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Councilmember Benedetti.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Aye.
Councilmember McGurven.
Aye.
And Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
Okay, thank you. We are on to new business. Council President Corman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to announce that we are having on November 8th, 2021, Monday, a committee of the whole meeting, 6:00 p.m. via video conference. One item on that agenda, the Rainier Avenue South Corridor Improvements, Phase 4, from South 3rd Street to Northwest 3rd Place, and a condemnation ordinance. And then following the committee of the whole meeting, the regular council meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m. that same night, November 8th, and it's via video conference. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Perez.
No new business, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Van.
No new business, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember O'Halloran.
Benedetti?
You have new business.
Benedetti?
It's Benedetti before Halloran, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, Councilmember Benedetti. Sorry, didn't mean to skip you there.
No, that's okay. I have no new business, so I will go on to Councilmember O'Halloran.
Councilmember O'Halloran, I know you have new business.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, please bear with me. The Finance Committee will be meeting on Monday, November 8th at 4 p.m. via video conference. We have 8 items on the agenda. The first is the WashDOT 2021 through 23 Transportation Demand Management Implementation Agreement. Second is Washington Traffic Safety Commission Agreement for the Safer Access to Neighborhood Destinations Grant Project. Third is Payroll Technician number 2, position hire at Step E. Fourth is Senior Business Systems Analyst position hire at Step E. Fifth is the Department of Ecology Interagency Agreement for Pollution Prevention Assistance. And 6 is the Coulon Trestle Bridge Land and Water Conservation Fund Grant Agreement. 7 is vouchers. And the 8th item is emerging issues in finance. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember McGurven.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Prince.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. On a Monday, November 8th at 5 p.m., Plan Development Committee will be meeting by video conference. We have 3 items on the agenda: restructuring and updating code enforcement regulations, Solera multifamily tax exemption agreement, and emerging issues in CED. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. What's the wish of the council?
We adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Prince, seconded by Councilmember Corman, that we adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, have a great night, everyone. We are adjourned.
Bye.